Alright YouTube, today I'm going to show you guys some sanding tips. I applied some filler on the areas, I did patch panels and anything else like that. You see, I got a few areas I want to sand and apply more filler. I'm going to show you guys some techniques. And I'm going to show you guys how to smooth some panels out. Put the filler back here, I have to do it too. Few areas that I was applying some up there, but everything's coming along pretty well. Got sand up there a little bit, and we'll get this car going. If the filler is really thick, get some 120, and you basically unroll it and then stick it on whatever block you're gonna use. You can use a soft block or a hard block. Right now, the beginning, I actually I recommend using an orbital sander if it's still thick, like so. In the areas like down here, I'm gonna use the orbital sander with some 320 on this area while it's still thick, and then I'll switch over to a block and hand block it out. Up here, I'm gonna just use a hand block, and I'll hit it lightly with the orbital sander for like literally like a second. Up here, I'll orbital sand it up here and get it all ready. Like I said, I do all my body work outside of my shop so that it doesn't go inside, and I recommend this if you can. And whenever I do my body work outside, I'm always in a tent or an environmentally controlled area so that no wood or any moisture can get to your panels before you prime it. I'll show you guys how to do some stuff. The reason why I didn't mask out the windows and you see some overspray is I did that on purpose so I can show you guys a video on how to remove overspray from windows no matter how long it's been sitting on there. You know, it's so simple to tape them up like that. I just really wanted to show you guys. I'm trying to create as many how-to videos so that when you guys are at home, you guys can still achieve professional results while working with stuff you might have on hand if you don't have professional tools. If you do have professional tools like me, then you're lucky, but I'm trying to show you guys how to do this if you guys don't have stuff at home. Like, you can go buy some sandpaper at any store, pretty much get any sort of sticky tape like this on Eastwood or something like that. I bought this at Sherwin-Williams. I go right there and I get my discount and everything else like that. But sometimes you could just run to the store and buy this brand. I don't mind buying this brand. They're pretty decently priced, and you can pretty much run it at the store if you really want to go and grab it. If Sherwin-Williams or somewhere else that you go and call in your material for it to get dropped off at your shop, and you don't want to wait for it, you can send out a guy and go grab this at a store and speed up your day so you don't have to wait, and you can just keep going on your project like this. Now guys, you're going to want to always wear a mask. Yeah, my mask is a little dirty on the outside, but I always clean the inside of it, make sure it's sanitary, and I always make sure that it's ready to go. I have new filters. They last a certain amount of days, so make sure you check the type of filter you have. And let's get going. I wanted to get some of this work done before it gets a little colder out. It's in the 40s today, and it was actually 70 yesterday. So I'm not really looking forward to having to wear all this extra clothing I have today. So I just want to get to working so I can warm up my body again. Alright guys, let's get going. Alright guys, I know it's hard to get a mask out there since this coronavirus is going around. I had this mask before the coronavirus happened, and I hope you all stay safe out there. These are really rough chemicals that we are working with in this field. So if you can, keep yourself covered up, even with like a piece of cloth or an old shirt over your face. It sure is better than nothing. And stay safe out there. Remember to give a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily videos. And remember, if you guys don't like my video, please just stop watching and don't bother giving me a thumbs down or anything else like that. These videos are for anyone who wants to learn. I'm just trying to do my best to relay as much info as I have to give professional results to people who want to do things at home. This channel is about positivity and knowledge, and I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the video. I'm sorry about this interruption. Alright guys, after you're done applying your filler as thin as you can, because you don't want to create any air pockets beneath it. Right now this is as thin as you probably could get on this panel, And down here I wanted to show you that I'm going to sand this. That was about 2 or 3 coats that were very light, and I'm about to sand them up. And I always wait to sand between coats sometimes. I do scuff them up so that the adhesion's better, but I don't really like to bring down the thickness of it if I'm trying to work on an area that was warped or was repaired. This was a patch panel area, got as straight as I could get it with pulling it or hitting it or any of that, and I wanted to make sure I could even it out. So I did a very light first coat, and then the second coat I did a little bit heavier. This is some 320 on the orbital sander, and you're not going to want to put too much pressure with your hand as you're pressing down on the panel, because you're not going to want to create warpage. You're also just trying to guide it. I have it at a low RPM, about like 2000 RPM right now as it's spinning along. I like to use electric outside because then it causes less problems with inconsistency and waiting for the air to travel. So as you can see, the edge of the panel is finally fading in where I did that repair. And the filler right there, you can see when the color starts to change, you can actually start to see how the primer or the area that you put this on, this is the filler that actually can go on primer. So I didn't have to worry about anything. I just let it dry for like an hour or two. I wanted to make sure that the adhesion worked as well as it could. And I'll show you guys a nice little mixing video on how to just knead in your body filler correctly and everything else like that. Now, when you start to sand, I like to do an X pattern. I like to go horizontally and on a diagonal. So I just want to make sure that I don't create any high or low spots, and this ensures that you're going to have a better sanding pattern to prevent that situation from happening. Now I'm going to show you guys that you can use whatever size block that you want. I like to use this 2-hand really long block for when I'm on these type of areas, like on door panels, so that I can create a longer stride so that I can even out with the rest of the panel and make sure that I can do a little bit less sanding and get more done in that time of sanding. Now I'm replacing the 320 piece of sandpaper on here and putting another one on to make sure that I'm ready to go, and I can continue and remove material without it being clogged. As you can see, the panel is slowly shaping in and fading into the rest of the panel. You can see some of the original green paint that was on this car. I only stripped this car down to bare metal where it was needed, which was pretty much 90% of this car. But I got lucky in some of these doors where the paint was still good enough for me to prime over it. And I took my window on that because this car is going to be between a show car and a daily car, with the outside and inside at show quality level and the underneath the car at daily. Alright guys, this area is pretty much as smoothed out as I could get it with the orbital sander, and time to switch over to my Durablock, and I'm going to show you guys how to sand this with the pattern that I was talking about before. I pulled the door off a little bit so that I can actually get in there and not press on the fender. Plus, this is still the second stage of priming. I only did 2 coats of primer on the door and the fender. Alright, this is what it looks like after a little bit of block sanding. It's pretty much ready for another coat of primer. And then I'm going to spray a sealer, 2K sealer on it, and wet sand it. I had to replace this rocker, that's why I haven't messed with it. I'm either going to make it from scratch or order it. I have a few other areas I'm still block sanding at. Like up here, I still have to get up there and block sand. But first, I'm going to use some 320 grit on this orbital sander to get rid of some of the thickness, because these were about 2 coats. 1 light coat and 1 medium coat, and I scuffed in between. I just wanted to make sure where I did my light little patch panels, and I made sure that the rust wasn't spreading on both sides. I isolated it, cut it out, ground down it, and I welded in new metal, and I created the patch panels where I needed it. And I made sure that I could put my filler on top of the panel afterwards because I did a butt splice, and I made sure that these areas would be a professional repair and it could withstand some abuse. But like I said, I don't really like to put old cars like this out in the rain. It's kind of just asking for issues. It's like leaving your jewelry outside. Would you leave your jewelry in the rain? I wouldn't want to do that either. Now, I actually did get the block sand up here. I didn't get to record it because it's a two-handed sander block, and I wanted to make sure I was putting even pressure. And since these were curves on the edge of the panel on this roof, I wanted to make sure I was able to block it out correctly. Now I finished up this side too, and I'm getting everything ready and to get the roof ready to prime and make sure that I'm going to tape everything off that I want to. Like I said, I'm leaving some of the windows bare because I want to be able to show you guys what's going on and how to remove overspray, so that was intentional. Everything's looking pretty flush on everything so far, so I'm happy with the fitment with all of the patch panels that are put into this car. I think I have about 42 patch panels, and I got a few more I gotta do, and I always make sure to check where the rust is spreading on both sides so that it's a good repair that will last for a long time and hopefully outlive me or my shop. Alright guys, subscribe and give a thumbs up and have a good day. And thanks again for all the positivity out there. Stay safe.